Hi guys, welcome. Welcome to Tinfoil Tuesdays. Today it's going to be a little spin-off. It's going to be Tinfoil Thursday. This is episode 42. My name is Joanna Stanescu. I'm a colon hydrotherapist and a traditional naturopath here at the Root Chakra inside South Bay Holistic Spa. But today I wanted to briefly kind of go over with you guys this whole debate between white rice and brown rice and which is healthier, if either. And what's the scoop? What's the truth behind it? So you hear me talk about grains a lot. And right now, today, you guys know that I'm a huge research study junkie, but I always say a research study is only true until a new study trumps it. So what I say today or in any of my videos are only true when I say them, because tomorrow a new study could come out and completely trump everything I've just said. That's just how our world works, right? So don't get too attached to your beliefs. But grains today, in this day and age, they're recognized to all be inflammatory. It doesn't matter whether it's rice, oat, barley, wheat, millet. It doesn't matter. All grains have an inflammatory reaction in the gut. There's this whole gluten-free fad going on around right now. Not to say that there aren't people with a true gluten sensitivity or who have celiac disease. Absolutely. But the reality of it is that all grains have this inflammatory reaction in the gut. It's the plant's defense mechanism. So if you think of poison ivy has its oils to defend itself, a rose has its thorns, right? Grains, on the other hand, the way to defend themselves is by having this inflammatory reaction in the gut. There's a specific part of the endosperm that just causes inflammation in the body. It's pretty inevitable. Now, everybody's body is different. Just because a study says something doesn't necessarily mean that your body will react that way. Of course, some people are going to be able to digest grains much better than others. But the best way to know whether a grain agrees with you or not, or any food really, is to pay attention to how you feel about 20-30 minutes after your meal. Are you gassy? Are you bloated? Are you tired or lethargic? Kind of like in a food coma state? If so, then that means that something in that meal didn't agree with you. Eat less of that. But after a meal, if you are energized and light on your feet and ready to kind of fight or flight, that's awesome. Eat more of that. That means something in that meal did agree with you. And so that's kind of how you can tell all of these like tired, bloated, gassy symptoms. These are actually signs of inflammation. They're signs of a food sensitivity, in fact. And any food sensitivity causes inflammation in the body. So let's get back to the rice. So which one is better, white rice or brown rice? Some of you guys may be a little too excited at my answer here, but I always say pick your poison. They both have their benefits. They both have their pros and their cons. So white rice is actually easier to digest. I call white rice just naked brown rice. Brown rice went wild, but not wild rice, right? But essentially they're the same thing, but brown rice, they just had that bran take it off. And then that's what makes it white rice. Now, the brown rice will have more fiber. It will have more nutrients, absolutely. So in theory, yeah, it's healthier if you're looking at the macronutrients and everything that it has to offer, but it's going to produce more inflammation in the gut. So you will notice, most people will notice that they have more gas, more bloating, more indigestion when they're eating brown rice as opposed to white rice. Now, the white rice, much easier to digest because that bran was removed, which has the fiber and things like that. Fiber is not digestible. It's not an easy thing to digest. This is why fiber is so good for us, because it's kind of like a broom in our colon. It just sweeps everything with it. Nothing gets stuck in there. That's why we want that fiber. But so you can imagine if rice has more fiber, then it's a little bit harder to digest. Now, white rice is easier to digest. It will cause less inflammation in the body. Usually, most people have less gas and bloating with the white rice. But again, the brown rice, you are keeping some of those nutrients in that fiber. So pick your poison. Whether it's white rice or brown rice, regardless, I would limit your rice intake because again, regardless whether it's white or brown, it's a grain, it's going to cause inflammation. And at the end of the day, we want to just reduce inflammation in the body overall. Inflammation is the root cause of all disease. As you know, if you've been watching me for a while, you know I talk about inflammation a lot. But as of today, the gut health world and the brain health world actually say no to all grains because the inflammatory reaction is so strong. The brain health world says this because there's been a huge correlation between mental health and eating grains, well, and the gut and the microbiome in general, but especially eating grains because it has such an inflammatory reaction on the brain. It's been linked to schizophrenia, dementia, Alzheimer's, and a lot of other, bipolar, and a whole number of things. So reduce the greens regardless. And as far as whether you want white or brown rice, it's up to you, whatever you prefer, really. I think you're winning and losing both ways, but just limit it. Make sure that everything is in moderation and that you're upping your veggies, okay? Well, have a wonderful Thursday, you guys. I will not be on next week because I am having my wisdom teeth removed on Monday. That will be a very pleasant procedure, and so I'll be out next week. I might try to go live before Monday so that I can kind of get a couple more tinfoils in here, but I've decided I'm not sticking to the Tuesdays. I'm just going to hop on here when I'm inspired, and so you might actually get more than one tinfoil a week from me, so stay tuned. Have a great weekend, you guys. Bye.